Michigan State has won a Big Ten championship. Shared for now, about to be outright. You get to go to Iowa tonight to play for the outright championship. You get to, if God forbid you need it, beat Michigan on the final day of the regular season to win an outright championship. You're going to get there. I believe that. For now, though, the crown is yours, my friend. Save the Big Ten. Your team has just saved it. The floor is yours. How you feeling?
Look, would I like you to come along in this journey that I thought you started the movement? People want to give other people credit. People want to give maybe even me credit for it for some reason. You were the one who came with the Save the Big Ten notion. And for this Michigan State team to be where they are after what I thought they would be coming to this season, I'll be honest with you, as a Michigan State fan, even as the negative Michigan State fan that I can be a lot of the times, there was not a world I saw where this happened. And I had doubts about it along the way. Shit, you have doubts in your mind when you lose two straight on a West Coast trip and then you lose at home to Mike Woodson in Indiana on a banner night, on a night that is Tom Izzo's. But for this team to just regroup and battle and beat the best teams in the Big Ten after that losing streak they had, they were down 16 on the road at State Farm with against Illinois with revenge on their mind. And for this team to be at the point where they're at, win all the games they won, come to this part of the schedule where a good amount of people, including myself, thought they would falter once they got to this part of the schedule, and they had done nothing but just win basketball games, whether it's on the road, whether it's at home, whether it's against the best teams in the Big Ten or the worst teams in the Big Ten. It's been against the best teams in the Big Ten, by the way. And now they find themselves with a chance to win an outright Big Ten championship banner in a year where I did not think a banner was possible.
It's been against everyone. Best teams, worst teams. Y'all got it for everyone. That's the thing. Like, you want something, come get it. That's this Michigan State team. And it has been an enjoyable team to watch. Yeah, I have a couple like big picture questions for you, but just want to take this moment to congratulate you, my friend. You are a champion. You and I have been doing this really like 4.5 years now. But I don't think it's lost on me that this run has coincided with some average at best Michigan State seasons
Mm-hmm.
for a program that defines itself by seasons like this, championships and March potential and March runs living up to that potential. The last 4 years have been a disappointment for Michigan State. It just so happens that those 4 years have coincided with you putting your face on camera, talking about this team every single week, every single day. And I know that hasn't been the easiest thing to do for you or for me during some down stretches for our teams. And we have long spent time together privately on and off air wondering, I wonder what it would be like to do this when our teams are on top. And this season, you got to experience what that feels like, and it's well deserved. And I'm happy for you, my friend. I have found joy in covering this team as well. I think they are one of the more likable Michigan State teams I've ever seen. One of the more likable teams in recent Big Ten history, quite honestly, with the way they defend, with how unselfish they are, and now with the blossoming superstar that is Jace Richardson. So, congratulations. I mean that from the bottom of my heart to you and to all of Spartan Nation as they now take their rightful crown as the champions of this conference. I'd like to take you back, though, quickly to let's just go back to October 29th. What were you doing on October 29th, 2024, Cart?
October 29, 2024, getting ready for Halloween?
Yeah, I know it's a big day for you, a lot of candy. But
Yeah.
yeah, October 29th, 2024 cart. Michigan State, what were they doing? Well, they were playing Ferris State in an exhibition game. Do you know what happened in that game?
Fair State's big man gave us hell.
Michigan State won by 18 points. Ferris State scored 67 points against this incredible Michigan State defense. Frankie Fiddler led all scorers with 14 points. Cohen Carr and Xavier Booker were your other two in double figures. Jace Richardson played 11 minutes off the bench, two more than Kurt Tang. He was 5 for 5 from the floor, of course.
Of course.
But just a quick reminder, like in November or last day of October, whatever, at the very beginning of the season, this team had a completely different identity than it ended up having. Like this is not a team that came into the year knowing exactly who they were or what they were going to be or who was on the floor. They thought Izzo said it bluntly. Frankie Fiddler's got to be our guy. And no disrespect to Xavier Booker, but like I think this team was supposed to be those two heavily featured. And Izzo on the fly correctly assessed that that's not where this needs to go. Let's get different guys in. Let's get Jace Richardson more heavily featured. He's just, I can't recall a Michigan State team ever that has had to make so many changes from what they thought they would be in the exhibition games to what they became. And I feel like that's lost on this because they are so deep. No one's trying to say that these players aren't good anymore. They're clearly incredibly deep. But for the guys who were kind of supposed to be like option one, option three, to become option nine and option 10, and this team to just get better, like if that happens to most other teams in the country, you have a failure of a season. And instead, Michigan State was just able to overcome that with great play from everybody else. And Fiddler and Booker very unselfish in taking smaller roles as the season went on. So I don't know. Have you ever been more impressed with a job that Tom Izzo has done, given the evolutions that this team has taken?
No, I think this is his most impressive coaching job. I do, especially because for a coach who is one of the greats, but I kind of constitute him as sort of a stubborn, stuck in his ways type of guy, even though he's earned that right to do so. For him to make those changes that are necessary to get this team to the point where they're at today, I think he deserves all the credit in the world for that. And this is one of his best coaching jobs. Honestly, I might be missing some years. Forgive me if I'm wrong, not a big history guy. This is his best coaching job by far, in my opinion. I truly think it is, given who's on the team, the talent on the team, and what this team started as and what it is now. And I always admit that I was wrong about this basketball team because I didn't think that they would get to this point that they got here. But the one inkling of grace that I give myself is to the point you just made. I didn't buy that team. I didn't buy Frankie Fiddler being the star player on the team. I didn't buy, the other guys being these big contributors. Once there was more of a shift to some other guys, the depth coming along, the defense coming along, that's kind of when I finally bought into what this team could be. And like the final stepping stone in that was kind of Jace Richardson taking a big role. I feel like this winning streak and Jace Richardson also playing a lot isn't a coincidence that those two things are coinciding. That guy's a special talent, and I'm glad that he's in the role he is now. And I truly, this is truly one of the more enjoyable years of Michigan State basketball that I've watched, which is like crazy when I say it out loud because like Simone Zapala is my center, and like Carson Cooper's on the team, and like no disrespect to those guys, but those aren't guys that just like incite like, oh God, Michigan State basketball, hell yeah.
Big
It's
Goof. You gave him a nickname, Big Goof.
yeah, he is big goof. Like that's my
But even
starting center.
saying that, like if that's the worst problem on your team, you're a championship team, man. Like that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, I'm greedy though. I'm greedy. So look, it's a fun, great year. Can I point out one little fact that even made me happier about what this team is? Because I love the makeup of this team. Like I think you and I talk about it a lot. The fact that this team looks across them and they're like, "F you," like I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna break you mentally. Like I don't care how good you are. I'm gonna break you mentally. Um, we win a share of the Big Ten title last night. Unless I missed it, nothing from anybody on the team. Not a post, not a repost, a like of something, nothing like that. This team wants more. They're locked in. They're not celebrating this right now, at least. That's a little thing that I think speaks to the mental makeup of this team. Not to throw other guys under the bus, previous guys on other teams, if they're in this position, we're getting highlights. We're getting reposts of we're shared Big Ten champions. We're getting something, maybe even a troll to their rival whose loss kind of put them in this position. No, it's all focused on what's ahead, and I think that speaks to what this team is mentally made up of.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's been a very special group mentally. And I go back to that exhibition game again. The one thing that remained the same, you played 10 guys double digits minutes in that game. Did that
That
in
was
November, in
crazy.
October, you're still doing it. It's crazy. All-time likability scale for Michigan State. Where does this team rank?
Probably second to Cassius's junior year team.
Okay. So
I think
second
for
favorite
me,
Michigan State team for you of all time?
I think so. Which is crazy to say, but like once you give them the credit to what they are now and what kind of what they got to, I thought there was no way in hell this team would win a Big Ten championship. Absolutely no way. Like I didn't even entertain it. I was over here like, we'll have a good year. We maximize this. We're a top four Big Ten team.
Yeah.
I thought there was zero chance this team could win a Big Ten championship.
Is this the
Zero.
best job Izzo's done as a coach, individual
Yeah.
season in his career?
Yes.
Trying to think of what other years would qualify because he's had said what is this his 11th title?
Yeah.
Crazy.
What about that team that had Trice that was like not a high seed?
Good team.
That's like another one that comes to mind. He
I think as
maximized.
far as regular seasons go, I'm willing to say this is the best job Tom Izzo has ever done.
I think I'm willing to say that as well.
I mean, I'm trying to think. You've got 5 losses right now, presuming you win out. You're going to end the regular season with like the fewest losses you've had other than one season in 15 years. Like that's crazy. Um, does March run, however they fare in postseason? I mean, you are Michigan State, so I assume the answer to this is yes. But how much is the March run going to impact how this team is remembered at this point? Like, if they win the
It'll.
Big Ten, do they need to do more to be remembered memorably in Michigan State fans' minds?
I think now, yes. Now, yes. I think
Really?
they can. Yeah. I think given the makeup of this team, what they are, what the roles have kind of been defined as, yes, a banner is great. I'm not gonna balk at that whatsoever. But I don't know if it's me being greedy or whatever's in me, but I need at least a second weekend out of this team. I think
You
they're
can
good
call it a
enough.
success without that, though, right? Like hanging a Big Ten regular
Yes.
season championship. The season is a success, even if they
Yes.
lose in the first round now. But
Yes, especially because it's when it's a Big Ten regular season title, that means over the course of a large sample size, we were able to assert our dominance and be the best team in an 18 team league.
yeah,
So, like, if it was like, ranking banners, like, because sometimes Big Ten tournament banners, people like to put that up there. Sometimes those are a little bit like to me because it's like, yes, I want a banner, but also like you just got hot and probably beat a team that already maybe beat you twice during the year. Like it's a little bit iffy once you get to that territory. But I mean, I don't think no to though, G, because you got to think about it like this. If it continues the way it's going, this team losing in the first round would be like them losing to a 15 seed.
yeah, true.
So
Right.
like, yeah, it like the banner would help, but I would be vastly disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you're here now. I wouldn't expect you to say it any different. But I guess one thing I will say, again, as a rival fan, once I get through playing you, it's beside the point. But um, I think this team deserves to be remembered supremely fondly. And I think as someone else that's outside of it, will be pretty bummed if this team like blows it in March and is not remembered fondly by a fan base that like sometimes only cares about March.
Because they deserve to be remembered fondly.
This season has been so special. Like, God forbid if something bad happens before the Sweet 16. I'm gonna think it's pretty unfair that they get remembered as anything other than this awesome overachieving group. Um, they also have the chance. I don't think you or any of us have talked about this. They're 15-3 with 2 games left in the Big Ten. There's one team in Big Ten history that has won 17 games in a conference season. It was last year's Purdue team, who was utterly dominant with Zach Edey, the 2-time National Player of the Year. If
Ooh,
Michigan State was able to win 2 straight, they would tie the record for most Big Ten wins in a season, more wins in a Big Ten season than Tom Izzo has ever posted.
that's crazy. And that's like
Insane.
and that's without like an all-American. That's without like not to put these guys down, but you look at some of these dominant teams in Big Ten history, they're riddled with like an exuberant amount of talent. You know what I'm saying? Like we have one NBA player on this team.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody tweeted that was like, there's a chance Michigan State wins the league by like 5 games and doesn't have an all Big Ten or an all freshman or a coach of the year. Like
It's a real
this team
world.
is still massively underappreciated. It's kind of crazy, but I think those accolades are coming. I think you're going to find Jace on the All Freshman team. I think you're going to see a player on the All Big Ten team, and honestly, I think Tom Izzo is going to win Coach of the Year at this point. We'll see.
Yeah.
If he goes 2-0, I expect that. All right. Anything else you want the final word on this team?
I think my final word will be thank you. Thank you. I needed this year. I needed this. I know I'm being a little soft about it. I know a lot of Michigan State fans are like, you're so soft for these last 4 years wearing on you. It could be a lot worse. I guess it could be, but like it was not enjoyable these last 4 years. I'll be honest with you. I could maybe pick out a couple moments here or there where I enjoyed it, but for the most part, didn't have that great of a time. This year has been incredibly fun outside of Mike Woodson getting me. It's a 9 out of 10 year. If Mike Woodson didn't do that to us, 10 out of 10 year. I'm sorry, I can't let it go.
It's a 10 out of 10 year cart, and I'm happy for you, my friend. All right. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Michigan State. Congratulations to Shimon Zapala and all the great Spartans on this team.